022020. This morning's song was written in 1955 by Cy Miller and Jill Jackson Miller for a Long Beach, California International Children's Choir. It is now sung worldwide. Epcot for the New York World's Fair, notably by Mahalia Jackson in 1967 in Berlin, by the country singer Vince Gill for his platinum-setting Christmas album, when Pope Francis visited Ground Zero in New York City on September 15th, 2015, and when Carlos Santana and the Isleys, Ernie and Ronnie, released it on their Power of Peace album. Today we have new cards for this song for two reasons. First, because the print in our official Blue Rotary songbook is just so small. Second, because Rotary is a global, inclusive, and non-denominational organization, we're using some updated, less gender-specific wording. Please note that any of you who identify as a seeker, or humanist, or agnostic have an additional choice indicated by the asterisk. So, Sue, let there be peace on earth. Subbing for Alicia, who's in Mexico, Seal has our invocation.
Give us this day our daily bread, and grant that we who are filled with good things from your open hand may never close our hearts to the hungry, the homeless, and the poor. Amen.
Nice, thank you. Thank you, Gary, for being our greeter. Thank you for the new Bryce D for working the table. Thank you, Doug, who's on his way to other responsibilities shortly. Just a few reminders. Please sign up. Is this on? Yep. Okay. Please sign up for the Rotary Leadership Training in March. Please sign up for the district conference down in Valley Forge in May. I'll be in Valley Forge the end of this week. They're going to train me how to do what I'm doing now. Are there any announcements specifically for Rotary activities? Dee?
Gary and I will be painting for the Canal Museum this Saturday for the Rotary Passport Club. So if anybody would like to join us, there's 11 of us right now, it would be great. So see Gary for details.
And if you don't know what the Passport Club is, talk to them. Find out. Others? Rick?
Quickly, right after this, we'll be filling the bags for the children at Jefferson and Lincoln at Bethel Bible. Please show up. I can't use my phone since it's over there taking video, so I don't know who's on the list for today, but please, I hope everybody shows up. Thank you.
Thank you. Megan?
Just a reminder, so next Tuesday is the Fellowship's annual pancake supper at Superior Restaurant. I've gotten a lot of RSVPs over the past week. So if you plan on attending or bringing anyone with you, please give me your head count so I can let Superior Restaurant know how many we should be expecting. It's from 5 to 7 next Tuesday, February 25th for pancake, sausage, bacon, fruit, and fellowship. Thank you.
Thank you. Nicole?
So we're looking to do a grant for the Emmaus Arts Center, and tomorrow at 9:15 in the morning, I set up a tour. So if anyone's interested in seeing what they're doing there, what their plans are, anyone's welcome to join.
Thank you.
I'd like to encourage everyone to read your Rotarian magazine for this month, and especially the article on Venezuela.
Thank you. And keep reading your trumpet.
Yes.
Don?
This is a reminder, Beef and Beer is coming up. It's $35 for a ticket. Bryce has your tickets, but you can buy them online. Hopefully it's all set up. More importantly, if you want to be a sponsorship, let me or Bryce know and we'll take care of that for you too. There's various levels. We do have a donation to take care of the band, so you can be a sponsor of just different levels of the whole event if you like. So, thank you.
Thank you. Okay, it looks like we're into the door prize time. That would be Gary.
Okay, today's donation is the Egypt Star Bakery, $25 gift certificate. I'll let our speaker pick the winning ticket.
Last four digits, 9605. It's not mine.
Okay, well, all right, Wilmer.
Just in time for Fosnox. And before we get to our Sergeant at Arms, I have to backtrack a little and I'll let Megan introduce our guests.
Okay, so we have a visiting Rotarian, Sandy Neske from our Phillipsburg Rotary Club of Sandy Neske Cruise Planners. Sitting right over here next to Gordon. Hi, Sandy.
Welcome.
We also have Steve, Susan, and Claudia Stutzman, guests of Rose Galliana Phillips, and Claudia is actually our outbound exchange student this year, so Rose will be telling us some more about that too.
All right.
So welcome.
Sergeant at Arms.
I got some money from pictures and paper. I think Chad, were you late today? I thought so, okay. Someone tried to tell me he was just in the bathroom and he was here in playtime. I wasn't buying that at all. There are some people missing pins, they've paid me already. I also inadvertently got the Jordans mixed up, so I put a fine in for that. I don't know how I could, but anyway, I did. So, happiness going on. Anybody have happy dollars? Larry?
An announcement dollar. In the news, everybody's seeing the worldwide, not pandemic, but this coronavirus. If you are interested in learning more about what it really is, Chamber of Commerce is facilitating a presentation Wednesday at 11:30 at Legends of Allentown, Christina Price's organization. And we're going to have an epidemiologist come in and explain what you really need to be concerned about and what not, and what you don't need to be concerned about. So if you would like to attend, give Ashley a call at the Chamber of Commerce and she can register you. You don't need to be a chamber member, but she will try and recruit you when you call.
I have two happy dollars. First of all, welcome my friend Sandy Neske here all the way from Milford, New Jersey, and she has her own travel agency, and Sandy. And the other one is leaving for Portugal on Sunday. So.
Nice.
There is no other happiness in this room. Oh, man, that is sad.
So good at what he does.
I have a budget to make. Even if I charge $2 a table, that's only 40. Never mind, go back up.
I'm happy about something.
All
So
right.
yesterday, we celebrated my Uncle Scotty's 61st birthday. He has health issues, and he's, when he was born, the doctors didn't think he would live to be 10 or 13 years old. Now he's 61. So I'm happy that he's around. He's taught me so much in my life, and he's always a joy to go celebrate his birthday together with my family. He was just in the hospital a couple of weeks ago with some pretty serious issues, and he's on the mend. So here's $10 happy for that.
So jeans aren't allowed in here, is that correct?
But leather pants are.
Leather pants are.
She's rocking them.
Look out, Rotary.
Wow, back to you.
They won't fit you, Don. So we can get you a pair.
No, please, don't.
I think Rick wanted a pair too.
Thank you, Don.
You'd have to kill the whole herd.
And JP needed a pair.
As I understand it, our fresh look today is because this is the way it was set up last night, and it was just easier for them to leave it that way for this morning. Steve is on his way home from Florida. Mike and his bride are outbound. And speaking of outbound, I want to welcome Rose. She's going to introduce us to our new outbound student. Rose is a woman with some goals, and I hope she tells you some of the things that are really pretty exciting in the work that she's specifically doing with exchange students.
Good morning, everyone. Before we get to this, Claudia, if you can come up also. I really just wanted to take a second, as Alexa was saying, what our goals are for this, for the committee. Our goal has been to try to expand the program. I had a 3-year vision that we would have an outbound long-term, which would be the whole school year, short-term, which is summer direct exchange, as well as hosting. And thanks to Courtney Kennedy, who's not here, we have really checked off 3 buckets. Both of her daughters are going to be going outbound this summer, and one of them has already been assigned to Spain and just waiting for the match, and we're still waiting for Sadie. So once we know that, I'll have them come in also. But it's been, a pretty busy couple months. We already have one of our inbounds for next year who's coming. It's a young man from India, so that's pretty cool because it's a little bit different. It's been a couple of years since we've had an outbound go out, so for us to really get all 3 done in 1 year, it's been great. And it really just comes down to talking about it, sharing it, signs being up at the school. So if you guys, know of any host families or anybody who might be interested or want to learn more, by all means, reach out to me, Gordon, Karen, anybody on the committee, and we'll happily share what we have. So what we're going to do this morning is really, very short and sweet. So Claudia came to us not too late in the process that we couldn't get her to go outbound, but her country wasn't selected before the district announced to all the other students where they were going. So rather than just telling her where she was going, I wanted to replicate what they'd done to make it special for her. So we're going to read off 10 facts about the country that she's going to, with the hopes that she can guess it. On the table, we've also put some index cards. If you want to play along, it can be wrong, it doesn't matter. By all means, play along, write down what you think. And then I would ask if you guys have just a moment before you leave today, flip the card over and just write a message of best wishes and good luck to her on her adventure, because she should be leaving sometime in August. Okay? Alrighty. So, I'll read the first couple. The first one's a little off, that's why I know I have to read it. So there are 10 different ones. So the first one is, in this country, the first Latin American writer to win the Nobel Peace Prize for Literature was awarded to Gabriela Mistral in 1945. You know what it is yet? We'll keep going. But I know you're 5, so you just keep thinking about it. The people in this country are the 2nd biggest consumers of bread in the world.
This country is an astronomer's paradise. With such clear skies, it should be no surprise that UFO sightings is a hobby here. There's even a UFO trail. Okay.
So she's so far guessed, it doesn't mean that she's right or wrong yet, but she's thought Argentina, she's thought Colombia.
Okay, number 4. The Ales tree, spelled A-L-E-R-C-E, is one of the world's most ancient trees and has been recorded to grow as much as, no, not as much to grow, but it could be 4,000 years old. Okay, 4,000 years old tree. Okay, number 5. There are 6 UNESCO World Heritage Sites here. 6. The world's oldest mummies are found in this country. And that's not Egypt. The tallest building in South America can be found here. It is a staggering 64 stories high.
So she's thinking maybe Paraguay, and she said maybe Chile.
It has the driest desert in the world. Average yearly rainfall measures 0.6 inches. Okay, more clues? You won't want to miss New Year's Eve. Did you know that in 2007, the Guinness Book of World Records recorded a fireworks display with a whopping 16,000 fireworks in this country? Wow, they love it. And the last clue, the world's biggest swimming pool can be found here. I hope you're good at swimming. It stretches the length of 20 Olympic-sized swimming pools and holds 66 million gallons of water. Ooh.
Anybody know?
Argentina.
Brazil, Chile.
And what gave it away to you?
I think the desert.
And she had Chile after number 5. So she is going to Chile. We don't know exactly where. So we want to see lots and lots of pictures of your adventure. And I know you'll get a U.S. flag to carry around, but you can always do well with a Chile flag as well. This looks like, this is wrong, this is a Texas one.
Looks like Texas.
But I'm gonna double check. The reason is, Chile and Texas actually have almost identical flag, where Texas actually came out 21 years afterwards. Yeah, so that's why I was like, oh, it looks like, but then I remember when I was doing these random facts that it actually is one of the same. So this is for you. If we could, I'm sure your mom wants a picture of you, so if you wanna go to the front there. Come on up. Gordon, do you want to take a picture with her? Many thanks.
All right.
Thank you. Thanks, everybody.
Chile, who knew? Best of luck. Our speaker today says he needs no introduction, and that is true. Chris has been a Rotarian for 23 years. His first 4 years, he saw the club grow from 40 members to 75. His 4th year, he was the president. He's been our treasurer for 10 years, so give him a warm welcome.
Good morning, everyone. We're a small enough group, so if anybody has any questions, just flag me down and I'll try to address them the best I can. Today we're going to talk a little bit about what we talked about last year. The Tax Cuts and Jobs Act was passed at the end of 2017, in December of 2017. It started to impact tax returns in 2018, so we're in the second year of tax return filings with respect to the new law. Also in December of 2019, another very small tax package came through with some changes, particularly those impacting retirees, so I'll get a little bit into that. And then lastly, I want to talk just briefly about some of the proposals that are being floated out there by candidates. Very, very early stages there. I would imagine that they'll be tweaked many times over between now and if and when they ultimately get discussed in more formal detail. Let's start with some of the changes that already came into play with the 2018 tax returns with respect to the Tax Cuts and Jobs Act. Big thing first is there was lower tax rates with respect to that tax package. Beginning in with the 2018 returns, roughly on 100,000 of income, a single taxpayer's average tax rate went down by about 3 or 4%. Once you jump up to about 300,000 of income for a married filing joint taxpayer, the rates came down even more dramatically, about 7 or 8%. Tax Policy Center, it's a nonpartisan group. Actually, I just recently read this. Roughly 2/3 of all Americans saw a tax decrease effective with their 2018 returns. I actually thought it would have been a little bit higher than that, but roughly 2/3 again saw a decrease beginning in their 2018 returns. This year, 2019, when I say this year, this tax filing season, the 2019 returns, as I said, by and large, everything stayed status quo. So again, I would envision that roughly about 2 out of every 3 taxpayers will see their taxes decline versus 2017, the last year when the old provisions were available. Some of the other areas where there was an impact on individual taxes, expanded child tax credits. For those of you who have children under age 17, prior to 2018, the tax credit was $1,000 per child. A credit is a dollar for dollar reduction in your tax versus a deduction like mortgage interest or charity. A deduction saves you whatever tax rate you're in. So $1,000 deduction if you're in the 20% bracket will save you $200 in tax versus this child tax credit, which was $1,000 per child, it would be $1,000 reduction in your tax. Effective in 2018, children again under age 17, that credit increased to $2,000 per child. One of the other things that changed with respect to the child tax credit is as your income rose, that credit would be phased out. In 2017, the phase-out ranges were very low, roughly about $75,000 of income. For a single taxpayer, you would start to lose that credit. Effective 2018, that phase-out range increased dramatically, so the credit went up and more people were eligible for that credit. For children or other dependents over age 16, so 17 and older, which before prior law, 2017 and earlier, there was no credit. Effective 2018, there's a $500 credit for every dependent other than the child under age 17. So $500 for other dependents, $2,000 per child, 17 and under. Personal exemptions, and this is an area where quite frankly, I don't think a lot of people were aware of. One of the things that changed effective 2018 is there's no deduction now for dependents. So there's that child credit that we talked about. No deduction beginning in 2018 for dependents. Pre-2018, so 17 and earlier, there was a personal exemption amount of roughly about $4,000 per person.